I think it wasn't as much culture shock for me as it was, like, I was sad that there's no school spirit here. Like, they don't have, like the high schools don't have sports teams, the colleges don't have sports teams.
Really?
Yes. Like, if the kids want to play sports, then they have to go to a hagwon, like a taekwondo hagwon, or a soccer
Oh,
hagwon, or a basketball hagwon, or, like, fencing. Like, they have these academies for everything. That's why the kids go to school until 10, because like, some of these are, like, fun academies.
right.
There's even swimming academies. So, like, my school is also a swim academy. I teach swimming as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah. So, like like, I think I just felt really sad because, like, I was always so, like, into school spirit, like, "Go Bucks!" or, like,
Right.
"Yeah, my high school team that I'm not gonna give away."
Yeah, but they don't
But,
have
like
that there.
yeah, but they'd be like, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, you know LeBron James?" And I'm
Oh,
like
God,
like, I
no.
mean, I don't know him, but, like, they'd be like, "Oh, I love Michael Jordan." I'm like, "Okay, cool." They're like
They bring up Kobe
they're
Bryant at
like
all?
oh my gosh, no one mentioned Kobe Bryant. Like, they probably
Oh.
like Kobe, but, like, I'm not from where Kobe's from, so
Oh, right, right, right.
yeah, so they only mentioned the, like, basketball players from, like, my
Yeah,
surrounding
yeah,
area.
surrounding area, yeah. Oh my gosh.
But, like so they really like sports.
Yeah.
They play a lot of, like, sports recreationally,
Mhm.
but it's just, like, their schools don't even have mascots,
What?
right?
So
Like, they have
literally
school
no
colors.
no school spirit.
Yeah. They have school colors, but there's no school mascot, there's no school sports teams. There's, like they have rival schools, but it's all, like, academic rivals. It's not
Oh, right.
like, sports rivals. And, like, yeah, when I was in school, I was, like, kinda pissed that, like, all of our money went into sports and not into arts and stuff, but, like, that doesn't mean that I didn't like going to football games any less.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like sports are, like, a good way to, like, bring people together,
Mhm.
and, like, especially with how competitive this country is, I feel like they need some school spirit, at least for
Yeah.
the high schoolers.
Yeah.
And they don't have, like, school dances. Like,
What?
there's no prom, there's no homecoming,
Wow.
there's, like it makes me really sad that it's such, like, an academically inclined country,
Mhm.
and I really feel like the kids don't get to, like, have any fun when they're in, like, high school and middle school.
Still such an old traditional mindset, right? Old
Yeah.
system.
So I
Yeah.
feel like I guess that would have to be the culture shock for me, is, like, with,
Yeah.
like they, like, praise their, like, upcoming generation for, like, being the future of their country, but they're killing the future of their country, they're killing their creativity, they're killing their individuality before they've
Yeah.
even gotten a head start on it, and so
Yeah.
I think that's my, like, biggest culture shock or, like, my biggest
That's a pretty shock for me too, I mean,
yeah.
if I was limited to, mainly doing one thing, oh man, I would not be having it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is crazy. What did you find surprisingly easy to get used to?
Surprisingly easy to get used to.
Mhm.
Um, huh, hmm, I would have to say, like, there's a certain way to, like, haggle for prices here.
Oh, okay.
So, like, um, I do a lot of shopping in, like, the, like, fashion forward areas.
Mhm.
So, like, whenever I wanna get, like, new shoes or, like, uh, new, like, more, like, streetwear style clothes from, like, outdoor vendors, they'll be like, "Oh, this costs, like, $40." And I'm like, "That's too much." And they're like, "Okay, how much do you want to pay for it?" Like, then they get all sickly sweet,
Mm.
but, like, this entire interaction has to happen in Korean, so
Right. It can't happen in
they'll just be
English.
like I'll just be like, "이거 얼마예요?" And they're like, "이거요? 어, 4만 원이에요." And I'm like, "어, 비싸요." So, like, there's, like, a whole sort of, like, way that you have to talk for them
Yeah.
to be like, "Oh, she's cute. I'll give it to her for a lower price." 'Cause in my head, I'm like, "Bitch, there's no way this costs 40 fucking dollars."
Yeah, exactly. And they know it too. They know it too.
Yeah. But, like, if people can't haggle, like, some people are just gullible like that. Like, it's and it's not entirely because they're gullible, it could just be, like, um, they don't understand the money conversion,
Mhm.
or they think they're getting a good deal, or, like, they just they just hand over I saw I saw this one video, it was, like, a K-pop idol was in Thailand or something, and he just handed over all of his money to the vendor, and then she, like, picked out the money she wanted and then gave it back to him,
Oh my
and then
god.
she's like, "Wait a minute, what have I just done?" It's like, "You fucking idiot." But some people do that.
That's true. Some people do that.
But,
Yeah.
like you have to there's a certain way to go about it, especially if you're, like,
Mhm.
a foreign girl.
I like
Then you have to be, like,
it.
charming,
Do you do that?
and
Do you do that face? Every single time.
that's how I talk to my kids. My
Yeah.
kids will be like, "Teacher, you're cute," and I'm like, "I'm cute?" They're
No.
like, "Yes," and
Do
I'm
they
like,
start doing
"Really?"
it?
And they're like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you," and they're like, "I love you, teacher," and I'm like, "I love you too."
That is so cute and adorable. Oh my gosh. Do your kids start doing that too?
Yes. My kids do all sorts of shit they're not supposed to,
What have you
and it's
done,
all my
Star?
fault.
What have you done?
Okay, so, like, my kids, if they're, like, really, like, fed up with something, they just go like, "Bruh."
No, no, no. Oh my god. That's fucking great, actually.
Or, like, if I wanna get their attention, I'll be like,
Mhm.
"This class is straight bustin'," and then they go, "Sheesh."
No, no.
Uh, keep in mind they're 4 and 5 years old.
No. Oh my gosh. Those kids. Those parents are
They'll
like, what the fuck is going on with my kid right now?
they'll come into school and be like, "Yeah, teacher."
Oh no.
They're like, "What's good?"
They seriously say that?
Yeah.
Yo, that's so great. I love it. I love it. So how's the nightlife in Korea?
Oh my gosh, the nightlife in
Since
Korea
since
is
you love partying.
so good. Okay, so a lot of my friends, they work for they're like event planners or they work for these giant like party promotion companies. So
Mhm.
like I get a lot of guest lists or like, at least pre-COVID I had a lot of guest lists for like these really big parties here in Korea, and I would get a lot of people to get on these guest lists. So I just like built a nice like party crew with
Mhm.
all of these other people. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't just me building this crew, but we have like a whole network.
Wow.
So
Oh my god.
like at least for my friend groups and I don't like bragging about it, but my friends brag about it for me all the time. So I feel like I should have a chance to like brag about it myself.
Why not?
'Cause
Why
like
not? Go for it.
okay, so, like, this is what my friends will tell you. They'll be like, "If you need a party, call Star. If you need a bottle, call Star. If you need a guest list, call
Damn.
Star." Like, it's like, if you need anything related to nightlife or partying, call Star, and she will get you where you need to be. And it's like,
Wow.
as accurate as that is, I don't know if it's accurate anymore because of COVID. So, like, as much as I wanna be like, "Oh, yeah, I still have these connections," like, who knows? Those connections might have died.
True,
All I know is I
true.
still have a yacht for partying.
You still have
That's
a
all I
yacht?
know.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's all that
yacht still.
matters.
Yeah.
You're still relevant, all right?
Yeah, I can get 30 people on that yacht, eh.
Yo, that's what's up. Yo, that's pretty badass, all right?
Yeah, but, like, nightlife in Korea, pre-COVID, and actually it's starting to bounce back now,
Nice.
clubs clubs would open at 10 p.m. Clubs would not close until noon the next day.
Noon? What?
Yeah,
That's
from 10 a.m.,
crazy.
10 a.m., 10 p.m. the night before to 12 p.m. the next day.
Wow, they go hard. It's all that school stress. They're like, we gotta go hard.
Yeah, and so, like,
And it stays packed until that time? Like, that?
yes. So,
Wow.
like, pre-COVID, if it was, like if I'm like, "Yo, I'm stressed out from work, I need to go party tonight," I would go out at, like, 9. The last subway train to my house goes at, like, 11:45. So I'd be like, "Okay, if I miss the 11:45 train, then I'm gonna stay out until the first train comes at 6 a.m.
That's like
and then go to
Japan.
work right here smelling like soju," which, like, every English teacher has done it at least once, and your schools don't care, like, they can't stop
Really?
you from, like, going
Nice.
out and partying.
Nice. They know. They're like, all right, they know.
Bro, I've definitely been hungover teaching my kids phonics, like
That's funny. That's
so,
great.
like, I've been really good with my hangovers, though, because, like, my liver probably hates me, but I drink so much that my hangovers are, like, basically non-existent anymore.
Non-existent. Oh my gosh, your liver's like, what did you do to me?
Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic, but, like, I I can drink, or I'm just really good at hydrating,
True, right? True.
but, like, prior to, like, COVID, I wouldn't even get drunk, I would just drink and drink and drink, but I would be dancing
Wow.
all the time that I was just sweating out all of the alcohol that I was drinking, so I'd be like, "Let's do shots, yeah!" And then I'd like, "Yeah!"
Going hard.
Drenched in sweat, my hair looks like I just took a shower because 'cause I'm soaked, I'm just
But you don't care. You're having fun. You're having a good time.
Yeah, best time though, like, I'm so excited for this because, like, I gained a lot of weight during COVID because I couldn't, like, dance it out, but now,
Yeah.
like, it's that
Now
time!
you're
It's that
out
time!
back on there.
I'm so stoked. I'm so
Uh,
stoked.
Now you only got 3.5 months left. You
I
gotta
know,
go all out.
and Party Girl Star is back, so, yo, I'm so excited.
But then 3.5 months later, you're people like clubs are closing at 2 o'clock. You know.
Yeah, but that's only for 4 months, and then I get to go party in Ibiza.
That's true. Oh, you're going to Ibiza?
I'm gonna go to Ibiza.
That's what's up. You're gonna be partying all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I
That's great.
get
So,
really stoked about partying.
yeah.
I'm still, like, a college girl, like, in my heart.
Hey, it doesn't matter what age you are. You know.
I'm still college age, though. I'm 23.
You definitely are. You definitely are. You still got like 10 more years in you.
Yeah. Shit, I'm gonna be partying until I'm 60, fam. I'm
Heck
gonna keep
yeah.
moisturizing and probably do some Botox to keep looking young as fuck for the rest of my life. I'm
Heck
gonna
yeah.
find the fountain of youth, man.
There we go. The fountain of youth. I like it.
Florida, here it comes.
I
It's
don't
in
know
Florida,
about. I don't
right?
know. No, I definitely don't think it's in Florida. I've been.
I don't know. In that Pirates of the Caribbean movie, wasn't it in Florida?
I'm. I lived in Florida, and
And there's nothing youthful about that place with all those fucking retirees.
no, definitely not. It's definitely a myth. Don't get me wrong. There are some youth in there, but
I look
yeah.
like a UFO.
You're floating. You're floating.
Mm.
You're a real star. And then on the
Oh.
overlay of this video is has stars. So you're a star.
Honestly, my neck kind of blends in with the wall.
That's kind of true. You are a star. You're a star. I like it. So this is a follow up question to this previous question. What kind of food do you eat after midnight? So like, what's the go to food?
Okay, so it'll either be like a Korean food stall, like I'll probably get some odeng or some tteokbokki, or I'll get like all these little fried like crab sticks or fried shrimp, or like it's called kimnari. It's glass noodles wrapped in seaweed and then deep fried, and you can dip it in
Ooh,
your tteokbokki and it tastes so good.
though that
Like
sounds
I'll probably
so
get
good.
that, or there's this place called Monster Pizza where their pizza is only good when you're drunk. So I might get that. Or if I'm in Itaewon, then I'll get kebabs.
Ooh, yeah, ooh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, so it's usually like shitty Monster Pizza, which I actually love
Shitty
that
monster
place.
pizza. So is it
It'll be
shitty or
Monster
not
Pizza.
shitty?
Uh, if you're sober, it's not that great. But I put so much Parmesan cheese on it anyways, so
To
it
make
doesn't
it
matter.
okay, there you go, there you go. Parmesan cheese like will solve almost anything.
Yeah, put some Parmesan cheese on their Spice Girl,
Ooh, it's just like that. Yeah,
just Salt Bay with the Parmesan cheese. But
yep,
yeah. Uh so yeah,
yeah.
Korean street food, monster pizza or kebabs depending on like which like neighborhood I'm in
Mm-hmm.
cuz there's like a few different nightlife neighborhoods.
Which makes sense. Do you like bouncing
Yeah.
around different neighborhoods too, or do
Oh,
you
it
just
it depends. It depends on what kind of night it is. Like if we're in Gangnam, which is where like the 30 plus people club, uh it's kind of annoying because everyone there is car poor, so they're like, "Oh, come see my Porsche. By the way, I live in a studio apartment."
their whole thing
It
is based on their car?
Yeah, or like if it's just not poppin' because like it can be difficult for some foreigners to get into clubs in Gangnam, so we might go to Hongdae, which like that's like the college area.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes it can be difficult for foreigners to get into clubs in Hongdae, or like if you're over the age of 30, then it's difficult to get into clubs there. And so we'll be like, okay, fuck you guys, let's go to Itaewon, which is the foreigner area. So then we can get into clubs, no
Yeah.
matter our age, no matter our race, no matter our nationality.
Mm-hmm.
We can get drunk for cheap, then we can have kebabs, and then we can just all crash at my place
Nice.
afterwards.
Why is it like age limiting?
uh, because a lot of things are about appearance in this country. So like people might not want to go to a club if they see like old people going,
The
or
fuck?
like they won't want to go to a club if they see non-Koreans
Wait,
going.
30 years old is old to them?
Yeah.
What?
If you're like a 19-year-old university student, you don't want to be clubbing with 35-year-olds unless
Why?
they're going to be buying you drinks because you're like some tight little whatever the fuck. Like, is there any advice you'd give to people when approaching others?
Mhm.
Like, I Koreans are very standoffish. They will like they might try to just avoid you. Like,
Mhm.
unless you're out partying and you're looking like you're having a fantastic time and like you're just partying it up and you're being loud and boisterous, then they'll like want to join you and like be in your group.
Mhm.
But if that's not your style, then like you don't want to meet people like in a social setting like that.
Right.
You might want to go to language exchange, which those can be a little iffy because especially if you're a girl, like going to a language exchange um, women are going to be outnumbered like 5-1, and all
Wow.
the dudes are there to get their dick wet, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So, so language exchanges can be really difficult. Um, if you are a foreign girl trying to meet only Koreans in Korea, then like there's a chance that they might just be using you to pass their like English exams, and then they'll drop you after they finish their exam, or like they're using you to like just help improve their English for like when they do go overseas.
Mm.
Like you have to think about all of these options that you might just be used as an experience and not as like a long-term friend for these people.
Ooh.
So
Is
like
so
if you
that's
want
common?
to, yeah, it's very, very common.
Wow.
So like you if you want to be friends with Koreans, then you need to be friends with foreigners that are friends with Koreans, because that's how you know that like these are people that there aren't really using you. I've
Yeah.
gone through this whole thing where I've had Koreans and foreign people just use me for the connections that my friends and I have. And then like once they think they've surpassed us on a level of like connection, then they stop talking to us. But then they usually fizzle out their connections pretty quickly, and then they have to come back to us to get those connections again.
Wow. That's
Well,
actually good to know. That is good.
yeah, it's it's really quite common, and it's kind of depressing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. It's good to know because that's fucking depressing. You know, you're like
Like
shit.
life in Korea gets pretty lonely. And I'm not saying that all Koreans are like this. I'm not saying all
Right.
foreigners are like this, but in at least my age bracket, that is commonplace. Like there's a lot of things that are commonplace in this country that people just completely overlook. And one of those things is how um this country is quite materialistic, and how there's no like camaraderie here. It's
Mm,
always you step on other people to get ahead.
yeah.
This country is too competitive for people to like have lasting friendships with
What
people that they view so different from them.
what kind of makes sense because it's based a lot on academics, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like because it's so like academically based and so like competitive academically, there isn't really like um they're not really socialized well.
Right.
So they don't know how to interact with others in a non-competitive format.
Definitely can see that.
So so most situations can turn competitive, but there are a lot of like lighthearted, fun-loving people in this country. You just have to find them.
I
And it
think
might take a while, but you'll find them. What I will say, like advice when approaching others in Korea, download Kakao Talk and search for group chats that are like tagged as like foreigner, or tagged as like party, or tagged as like I don't know, um meetup. So and if they're pretty active groups, then you'll be able to meet some really good people in there, and I can always recommend like some good group chats to join if you like are coming to Korea.
nice.
Even
Uh,
if you're not in Korea, you can join the group chats. It's cool.
oh,
The people
really?
are pretty cool. Yeah, as long as you have Kakao.
How is dating in Korea?
It's not great, I'll tell you that.
yeah, there's a long pause.
It it is not great.
Why is that?
Uh I I don't like talking about dating in Korea, because my experience dating in Korea has been a very, very negative experience. So it
Really?
just makes me sound bitter when I talk about it.
hey,
'Cause like
it's okay. Be bitter. Fuck.
it's just like I I could be like I'm either really pretty to the point where they think that I'm too good for them, or I'm just not pretty enough to the point where no one wants me.
So there's like
There's,
no,
like, no in between.
yeah, there's no in between.
Excuse me. Oh, the dust in Korea is so bad. Oh,
So dusty.
it's real dusty here. Oh. But, like, because I have dark hair and dark eyes, I'm not seen as, like, white enough for them to want to
You gotta have like
date
what, blue
me.
eyes?
They want blonde hair. They want blondes, really.
Listen to the full episode on all major platforms.